Good morning, everybody. This is a review. Let's just take a look at price action this morning and see what price is giving me to work with here. And let's, just as a follow-up, see if I got the settings set up right on this platform now, which it should be. Let me just check before we begin that everything is good. Just to confirm. Okay, yeah, everything seems perfect now. Seems like we have good quality and it seems good. So let's dive right into it. So upon looking at the charts, I looked at DXY and we have now inverted this fair value gap again, closed above it. We respected this daily order block, this weekly wick consequent encroachment level, and we have traded above this. So I'm looking for these highs now to trade to. So these daily old highs would be in my scope. I would be looking for price to reach up into this level, and it's just messy price action still, because we still have this monthly fair value gap, and we're just inside of this monthly fair value gap and this weekly fair value. Let's just switch over to a weekly quickly. The price didn't even close below this, so at this point it's just going to be a fair value gap. It's not going to be the anticipated inversion fair value gap. So price basically traded into this. I would say this is a breaker block, and it's just sitting above this. It's not. It traded the main threshold and it just rejected that level. I'm just gonna eyeball it. So that's a weekly breaker block. So the next target would be this old high up there. And then we have this wick, which we could target as well. Depending on what price does today, of course. It really depends on if it trades into this. If it trades into this monthly fair value gap and we reject, or if price trades through, well, it already basically traded through this high. If we hang around here and we reject off lower, which could be another scenario. And then we also have this inversion sitting over here, which, I mean, price could trade up into this and then reject as well. But I would like to see, if it does trade into this, I would like to see price come and clear this high and trade into this wick at the same time. So that's a whole bunch of overlapping confluences in this area here. So I would shift my focus into this. But it's still quite early in the morning, so we have to wait and see what price really does. See, there's that breaker block. See how it tapped it again. So we have to wait and see what price does, honestly. So we'll just move that over there for now. So we just have to sit on the fence and wait and see what it does. Looking on a 15-minute, we can see that price is just traded up. Just since yesterday, I just opened up and rally traded right up. So nothing in here really that I am seeing at the moment. We did clear this high and we are inside of this fair value gap. But nothing at the moment. We also have this fair value gap over here on the 4-hour with all this all of these highs. Like I said, I would still like to see price come above this high and trade into this wick. We also have that same inversion on the 4-hour. So I would expect indices to all be bearish, just basing off of this idea. That's what you would want to see in a symmetrical marketplace. So looking at the Nasdaq and just referencing back to what we were looking for inside of the stream last night, basically we were expecting price to come above these highs, which it never did. It traded up there and then it just fell right out of bed. Market opened up and dollar traded up, and this just fell right out of bed. So let's move into a weekly. So looking at the weekly, I see not much other than the fact that we traded down. We rejected that fair value gap. We almost traded into this weekly wick consequent encroachment level. And we've just been sitting sideways. You guys notice that? We've been sitting sideways for the whole month of Feb. We've just been sitting at these highs. Looking at a daily time frame, not much in here, not much at all. We're trading lower. Did we already take that low? We already took the low. We'll look at some more targets when we get into lower time frames. But I would look at this fair value gap consequent encroachment level. I would look at that level as a potential draw on liquidity. We basically traded inside of a rejection block. The wick of this candle, we traded into that, and that would be a rejection block. Price rejected that, and it's just been hanging around inside of this wick over here now, right? It just failed to take out this high even. Just give you a measurement of that. See how we're basically hanging around the consequent encroachment level of that wick. So we can just take note of that. Just eyeball the level. Have it on the charts. That would be a wick consequent encroachment level. Let's go down into lower time frames and see what we get. So looking at all of this, it's chop. It's just chop in here. There's nothing that screams higher or lower prices to me at all. There's just a whole bunch of chop. We have this order block sitting here. Its base price has basically been holding this level. Just holding that. We have a whole bunch of equal highs and relative equal highs sitting above us. Price is now cleared sell side liquidity. That's taken out of the board. Now if you look at this daily fair value gap and you look at what the 4-hour gives us with the consequent encroachment level, you'll see that we have a little fair value gap nested in here. So that could be a potential draw on liquidity if dollar continues to rally and we continue to get bearish prices on the Nasdaq. That could be a potential draw. That's something you could look at. Let's go ahead. Let's note that little fair value gap. Take note of it. 4-hour fair value gap. Just have it noted on the charts. That is a level that I would be looking at if we were to get short. Tap into this. That would be my draw on liquidity. So that gives us the bias. But it's really, see, there's the thing. Looking at DXY, you know, I'm anticipating higher prices because we have these equal highs sitting above here, and because of the fact that we traded above this weekly fair value gap, right? And we rejected this order block, we traded into this wick. It's just higher prices at the moment. So looking at that idea and then coming into indices with the idea that they should be inversely correlated, to me that gives me a bearish idea on price action. So looking at an hourly chart, again we can see that price just has all these equal highs above us, right? Equal highs above us. Price was trading inside this. There's a fair value gap there, which held price. We have an order block there. Price traded up into the order block, mean threshold, pushed lower, cleared the lows, traded back into it one last time, and cleared the lows again. We still have buy side liquidity resting in this marketplace, right? And we have this potential 4-hour fair value gap as well as the daily, as the consequent encroachment of this daily fair value gap, which this could be a potential draw on liquidity. Nothing really in here to send price lower other than these two up close candles. This could act as a mitigation block. Extend that through mitigation block. If price trades into it and it rejects that, sending it lower. We also have a fair value gap in there. So that could be another area where price could trade up and trade lower. Other than that, I don't see much. I don't see anything else that I like. We do have this big inefficiency as well, resting down here. So that could be, if we end up trading through this 4-hour fair value gap, and this is how I would view this. If we traded through this 4-hour fair value gap, and at the time dollar was still bullish and pushing higher, reaching for its old high, then I would look for price to invert this 4-hour fair value gap, retest that, and then send that lower into this 1-hour fair value gap over there. So that's how I would look at that if price was to be animated and trade down lower. That's what I would be looking for. On a 15-minute, there's honestly nothing happening over here now. Nothing that would scream to me. It's all just messy. Definitely nothing I would look at in here at all. Nothing I would be worried about. Let's look at ES. ES is pretty much, it's just not been clean lately at all. So I haven't really been worrying about it too much. What I noticed yesterday as well was we were just trading down lower as Nasdaq was sitting inside this range. And ES was just like falling out of bed slowly, and it traded the lows again. It's just not willing to go higher at all. Trading into order blocks, as you can see here, and they're respecting the order blocks, sending price lower. Let's look at a daily. I would do the same thing here. Just look at the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap. See what this gives us on a 4-hour. On a 4-hour, you see that we still have two little fair value gaps nested. Now the way I would approach this is I would just pull a fib from low to high, pull a fib low to high, 50% right there. So I would be looking at this one. I would look at this fair value gap, my 4-hour fair value gap. Because that's in a discount as far as this price swing. Would like to see it reach for this lower, since we traded these order blocks and respected them and traded lower each time. Let's look at a 1-hour chart. It's really messy, just drooping down lower. Nothing clean in here, nothing good, high probability. We have an old low right there as well. I would be looking at this to be the draw as well. And then again, if we traded through this, then I would look at this 4-hour fair value gap becoming an inversion level, and I would look for prices to trade down into this fair value gap over there. That's how I would approach this market. On a 15 again, nothing that I would key off. This is all just a mess. We have a fair value gap there, which is pretty clear. So we got that fair value gap over there. It's just too early in the morning to tell really what it wants to do. Again, we have the same. On this one, we got a breaker block because we had this higher high. So this would be a breaker block. Extend that through, and that could be a breaker block that you could look at sending prices lower. But nothing clean, nothing high probability. Nothing crazy. Quickly want to take a look at the calendar and see what we have for today. We have 8:30 prelim GDP. That's about all we have. It's just a messy calendar week as well. On Thursday, we have core PCE price index and unemployment claims. 9:45 PMI medium impact. 1:15 p.m. FOMC member, just a medium folder too. And on Friday we have 10 a.m. PMI. So it's just all over the show, I feel like, with all these news events. It's just a messy week. And we're also coming into a time of the month where we're basically almost done with this month. So we're looking to head into a new month. Just not good price action overall. Not high probability, not clean. In my opinion, it's honestly been since February, since Jan, it's just been not good price action at all. February too. Just not good overall. Just very unclean. And nothing that we really that would scream out at me. I'm not even looking at the Dow, but we have the same fair value gap. Look at Dow it's been trading a lower. It's done that same droopy trade lower, high resistance liquidity run, trading into its order block. and then trading at a lower. We have an I fair value gap, where you take these two wicks, you get the consequent encroachment of them both, and then you get a fair value gap. It would be price would be trading inside that fair value gap right now. I can see that. And then I would just do the same thing, honestly. I would just take the consequent encroachment, go down into a 4-hour chart, we find this I fair value gap, and then I would just take that down into my time frames and see what I get over here. Not much at all. We just have order blocks sitting in there in that area. I'm not even gonna mark it up, to be honest. That is basically it. Not much else for us to see in the market. It's just been very messy. So as for today, that concludes it. I would be looking at potential lower prices on futures if dollar continues trading higher. Just have to see what it does, and then we can see what it gives us. But we need to get a clear draw on liquidity. So if we have a clear draw on liquidity, then from there on we can see what we want to do. I mean, this could very easily still reject and just continue trading up higher today as well. And dollar could just easily start trading lower in here just because I traded above this high. There's also a gap over here. If we take the low of this candle and the open of this candle, then we're inside of a gap. So we also have that over there to be wary of. So it's just a really not a clean situation. And then we also have these two consecutive down close candles, as well as this low high lower low, which is a breaker block. So there's just a whole bunch of things here aligning and not giving us clear price action. So it's difficult to really call one side of the marketplace over the other one, and it's just 50-50. So I would just have to elect to sit on the sidelines unless we really get something clean. There's just not high probability over here. And you get situations like these, and you get weeks like these, and you get months like these, where now we have had about 2 months of price action just being not very clean and not being clear. And all you can do is sit on your hands and wait, because if you go in and you try to engage, you're most likely going to end up taking a loss. If you don't control yourself and you're impulsive, then you're probably going to take a string of losses, if not blow your account. So it's just a good practice to just sit still and be patient in times like these. Sit still and be patient and wait for the fruitful days to come. And then you can start trading in the better, inside of the better price action. I'm not sure if you guys have looked at the seasonal tendencies. Just hold on for 1 second. Let's see if I can pull the seasonal tendencies up, but I just gotta get them. I just gotta pull them over, so just give me 1 second. So I can see if I can quickly get them get them over here. Let me see. It's gonna take one moment. Just give me 1 second. Need to get them over to the computer. And then I need to figure out how we can get them on the stream. So it'll take 1 second to see if I can do this. Then we can quickly look at the seasonal tendencies. And we can get a better idea of what is going on, and it could just give us like a roadmap, a hint of what it wants to do possibly. Okay, I've got them here. I just need to get them. Just hold on. Let me see if I can pull them up real quickly. Okay, perfect. Okay. I've got the seasonal tendencies. I got them. Now I just need to see if I can pull them up and if we can get this thing to pull up this chart. I'm not sure if I can do this. Let me just see if I can do this and how to do this. Let me see. Not getting it to work with me now. Why does it not want to do it? I've got it pulled up right here. It's weird. Weird how it doesn't want to do the thing. Wait, hold on. Let me try something else. Okay, this is not gonna work either. We'll figure it out. I really want to take a look at the seasonal tendencies. Just to get it to go is the thing. If I can get it to go, it'll be fantastic. It should do it, but it's not doing it. Let me try something else. Why does it not want to give me? It's just being hard, playing hard to get. We'll get it in a moment though. Image. I wonder if I can open it in Paint. Paint seems to work. I thought that I could use one of Windows's photo viewers and just it doesn't want to pick it up on the thing. I don't know. Anyways. Give me 1 second to see if I can get it up and running. Hopefully I can. I mean, this should be it. It's pulled up. Unless it just doesn't want to show it because I've got the other one running. Maybe it's because I've got the other one running. Maybe it doesn't want to show this one. That is strange though. I really wanted to show this stuff. And it really doesn't want to show it though. Even if I try and... That is weird though. Weird how it doesn't want to show it though. I don't know. Ugh. That's stupid. I might be able to showcase them if I pull something else up. I think I might have it figured out now. At least I thought so. It doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to get this thing going. And for some reason now my cursor decided that it wants to disappear as well. Which is wonderful. That is just great. I might have to pause the stream to try and figure this out first. This is wonderful. Wait, what if I just unplug the cursor? Maybe that fixes that problem. Technical difficulties. Oh, great, that fixed it. Okay, good. So cursor is back. Now, can I pull up these seasonal tendencies? Okay, let's try this. We're gonna get them. We are gonna get this going. Display capture. Guys, I have got them going. Great. You should be able to see the screen now. Let's see over here. We got the NASDAQ. Let's see if we can zoom this in. If we look at NAS and we look at Feb, we can see Jan and Feb. Just basically up to mid-Feb is just a mess. There's not much going on over here. And then price trades up higher. Just give me 1 sec over here. I just had to go close the door because the wind was just banging on the window right now. The winds are just crazy today. Just blowing everything away. So looking at this, mid-Feb was supposed to give us a rally. And it just did not give us a rally. We've just been sitting sideways in consolidations. So just for this particular year, we just did not get that rally like we would anticipate normally. We just didn't get that. We just had in consolidation. For the month of March, you can see up here you got the 24-year, 15-year, and the 5-year data. And you can see it's just like a dribble. It's a dribble up until about mid almost like the end of March, right? And then it has prices this drop. It offers this selling opportunity, right? So not much going on there. We got the 5-year T notes. Not much going on in this one. As you can see, we basically do the same thing where we consolidate and then we drop lower into March. 10-year T notes. 30-year T bonds. This one is like, yeah, we just drop around and then we drop the end of Feb. And then you gotta look at your data, and the 5-year sometimes has a rally up, whereas your 40 and 15 just have a more of a retracement or a consolidation like halfway through March and then a rally in April. US dollar, this is what I want. So looking at US dollar, in the beginning of the month we expect a rally and then a retrace. And this is the 5-year data, by the way. And then we get a rally out of the month, which means that everything else should be bearish. We should expect bearish lower prices on futures markets and forex markets and everything else. If you look at longer term data, you can see that we just have a consolidation, which if we look at price action currently, then it just seems like we have this consolidation going on right now. So that's, I believe that we're sitting inside of this consolidation. So the 15 and 35 year we're not getting the 5-year move this time around. We're getting the 35 and the 15-year. So towards the end of the month, we could expect a rally, a really sharp sudden rally, and then that rally keeps going on into the month of March. And then we get about a quarter into the month, we just get a big pullback. So this shows rallies the end of Feb going into March. So we might start rallying. Okay. T-bond markets. I don't really want to look at those. That's about it. So now we can look back at the chart again. So we finally had it going. So with that idea in mind, looking at dollar index, if we want to see it rally into March, then price needs to find some ground going in. We have this breaker block, order block situation, but I just don't like this as an order block too, because we haven't really had this big impulsive move away from it and retested it yet. That's why I just don't really like that idea too much. But we are respecting this little fair value gap in there. So we did, however, trade into this inversion down there. We did trade into that back here, and we traded higher. So I don't know. It's just inside of this market that's 50-50, and we just really can't call one side over the other. We just have to sit still and wait and see what they give us. There's just not high probability right now. We've been sitting sideways since Jan. We've been sitting in that sideways profile. So we might see a rally going into March. We might get a rally. We'll just have to wait and see what price does. Honestly, as soon as they tip their hand to us, then we know what we can expect. Which, if we get a rally, then that would give us lower prices on futures markets. So that's probably going to be it for this video. Hopefully you found this one insightful, and hopefully you took your notes with those seasonal tendencies. And until next time, good luck, good trading,